What's up? Good morning, everybody. Howdy. Share this. Good morning. Good morning. No trades for me yesterday. Good morning. Why not? Detail. No, I'll get into it. Literally all the setups that I was looking for yesterday happened overnight and like immediately after the close and reopen. Good morning, Blair. Odyssey. Good morning. Welcome in. Oh, let me turn my little light on back here. Better color balance for the video. Welcome in. Welcome in. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's weekend? I didn't do a live stream on YouTube yesterday. Had one in the private group, but honestly, there was good volatility, but it was pretty choppy overall. So I kind of just sat out of it. I saw some trades, I could have taken, but honestly, I just opted not to put on risk because the conditions were kind of choppy up and down. Let me snip my 30-minute chart with a volume profile here. We'll talk about the analysis this morning and talk through it. Thanks for tuning in, Jorge. So the main things that I was watching yesterday is 1, this gap, 2, this low volume node area. Those were like the main things where we had that aggressive selling from Friday. You can see it here. And I was looking to, we had also this high volume consolidation. So I was looking to see if we broke out of that yesterday to squeeze into this area here for a long into 6,700 to 6,717. I never got it, but right after the market, I saw significant buying all day here yesterday around that 6,700, and it just could not squeeze higher. So that was interesting absorption, which makes sense. As soon as the market closed and reopened, we had that pop into the target, which was that setup that I was going to look for yesterday. And then the other setup that I was going to look for is if we failed at that same low volume node area, I was going to look to take it short and target the lows. And so we got both of those setups like right after the market closed and reopened. I was not trading it. And then the other area that I was watching, if we broke down, was this gap area. And I was either looking under this high volume area here to kind of break and retest it, which we got right there for a continuation to target that. I have a key level here at this gap at 60.32. And so that worked out perfectly. So there's like 3 or 4 different setups that I was watching for yesterday. None of them played out. None of them I got an entry for. I took no trades. And then literally like all of the setups played overnight. So that's fun. But similar analysis, what I'm watching this morning, let me just take a new snip to clean this up. So that was the game plan and kind of what happened yesterday. I'll take a new snip here. Come on, silly thing. So these are the same kind of key areas that I'm watching going into today. Is this low volume node where these sellers were aggressive? It's a little, I'm watching it a little lower now because this area kind of between 6790 to 6700, there was significant buying there. And so I'm watching that as kind of a new supply zone, right? So I'm watching this as kind of a new supply zone. There was significant buying there. And so when I see significant aggressive buying there and the market doesn't go any higher, that's telling me there is a lot of passive sellers there. So I'm watching this zone up here between, roughly 6690, 6700 area as supply. I'm also watching how we kind of gap filled here. and we have not continued lower. And in fact, we're building a lot of volume here after testing that gap. So we kind of filled the gap, and now we're building a lot of volume. So a couple things that I'm watching this morning: if sellers cannot break down specifically around this gap level here, which is 66.32, I'm watching that level specifically. If buyers cannot sustain over it, I'm watching for sellers to reload. And really the next level that I have would just be the prior day close, which is like around 66.52. So could target 66.52 if sellers are really aggressive today for continuation down. However, I'm first watching to see if buyers sustain back above that level, which we're, currently back above already. I'll be looking for pullbacks to see if it gets defended and target a retest of this supply area here. You can see where the selling was really aggressive. We have a really clear low volume node. So I would probably just be targeting like 75 to 90 for that scalp. And if we trade through it really fast, really aggressively, then I'll probably leave runners on and target this kind of supply up here around 6,700. So those are like my two primary game plans this morning. Now, if we kind of pop and fail and do what we did during the regular trading hours yesterday, which was barcode in the first hour, then I'm staying out. If we just chop, fail, and we just, do another barcode because we already had a nice drop, then this to me is just, I'll continue to stay patient for better trades. There's times where I see opportunity and, I could potentially take a trade, but it's just not good quality. And to me, it's better to just stay out of it at this point in my trading career. I'm kind of gradually sizing up, and I'm kind of at a point where it's not worth the mental capital to like push myself and drain myself all day in those kind of conditions. And so if I see that happening, I'm not going to fight for, chump change in that range. And the other thing is, when you extend yourself in those kind of conditions and you put on trades that are not super great, you're training your brain to like continue to do that. And it's kind of like toxic to your brain. So you're training your brain to be in the habit of over trading and trading like B or C quality trades. And it's better to just stay consistent in the mindset of like patience, A+ trades. And if it's not that, then just stay out. For me personally, I think it's better to stay in that mindset and just avoid that slippery slope that you can put yourself in, taking lower quality trades. So I'll get to some questions and then we're going to jump over into the flipping futures community for the Discord live stream for the live trading session. What about yesterday's lows around 60? Is that a key area to watch? Yeah, I would definitely watch. I do have a level marked here. Let me show you my charts so you guys can see all the levels that I have specifically on my charts. So these are my areas of interest that I'm watching. You see, I do have this marked around 59.60. I am watching to see what happens if we dip down there. Either use it, it could be, I use like, if we pop and fail here, I may use that as a scale out point as a target. Or if we drop down there and dip under it and recapture, maybe I use it as an entry and use that 32 level as a target potentially, if I'm taking a little scalp off those type of things. So it's just an area of interest that I am watching. But yeah, these are really the only key things that I have that I'm watching this morning. There's not too many good and this range is kind of the range that I was watching yesterday. And you can see how we kind of flirted with it. The best setup, in my opinion, was you know, this kind of double bottom that formed, maybe to take it a scalp long just to the top of the range, because we clearly identified the balance range yesterday. However, I did not catch it right down here, and I was not interested in anything in the middle of this range, so I just stayed out. And I was not, just given the context of how we gapped up and we were trading higher, 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 I was not interested in fading the highs. Even though I saw the absorption up here, I was not interested in fading it. Now that we've made that absorption and sold off from it, I'm now watching this area as supply, but I just was not interested in trying to catch a top on it, just given the context of how we were gapping up and trading higher after that large drop. I was not trying to fade that intraday yesterday. Does that make sense? Why not? Good question. Good question. All right. Everybody cool on the game plan this morning? Any questions on that? We are seeing just a lot of selling overnight. It has recaptured quite a bit, though, so far here, back over that 66.32 level. So that's interesting. But yeah, we did sell off quite a bit, and pops were really just sold into all night long. Looking at the 15-minute, even now with the pops, we still have yet to break the lower highs that have been going on. I'll show you what I mean. So this would be new information now. If see how all night we've just been making lower highs on the 15-minute. So this morning, if buyers are aggressive back above this and we actually break that structure and we start forming, we break that lower high structure and buyers really defend a pullback, then that would be something that would be interesting. You know, when a move like this happens overnight with, you know, lower volume, and then we come in and fill a gap or something, if buyers are really aggressive, you know, we could quickly retrace that right back up into the supply zone where we closed yesterday. Yeah, good point. Yeah, Powell is speaking at 12:20. I'll probably be done by then already. I kind of came back and watched price, even though I took no trades throughout the day yesterday. We've got some really nice weather here in Florida, so I'm going to look for setups here in this morning session. You know, anything can happen once Powell starts speaking, and then also we're kind of on the edge of our seats, waiting for any kind of response from President Trump in regards to all the China tariff stuff. So, you know, we're one tweet away from, you know, a 200-point move either direction. So keep that in mind. I highly recommend being in smaller size and having a hard order in for stops. Even if it's like below your mental stop, just as a safety point, I recommend, you know, in these kind of conditions, it can go 0 to 100 really fast. So we're one tweet away from 100, 200-point move. The market's very sensitive to this tariff stuff going on, and Powell speaking at 12:20 Eastern. So definitely be aware of that. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. For those of you that are in the Flipping Futures private community, we'll go live here for the trading session this morning. We'll have analysis throughout the day, and look forward to seeing you guys in there. If you're not in there and you're interested, I do continue to do these free lives on YouTube, and so if you just want to be part of that, that's cool. But if you're interested in joining to get more coaching and mentorship and live trading with me, then the link is in the description of this video, and I hope to see you guys in there. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you this week. We'll do more lives on YouTube, and we'll be over in Discord here momentarily. See you guys.